Before we jump into the Q&A, you might have seen something came in the post, and it's only right that we unbox it. We've got a nice top-down view here as well. I should probably move the microphone. Also, we've got a friend in the background. Hopefully you can see her. So I'm going to go and I'm going to unbox this lovely thing, and then we're going to jump into the Q&A with me and Kay. We are also going to do a proper Q&A, I think, explaining who Kayla actually is, like our relationship and things, because I know she hasn't been on the channel before. She did mention maybe I should do an intro for her, but maybe I'll do that at the end. Let me just unbox this, and then we can jump into the Q&A. This is, how do I do this? Okay, you can see it from that view. Okay, this is very exciting. Okay, I've always dreamed, seeing in the background in videos, that lovely silver plaque. And I never, ever thought that we would hit 100K. So this is pretty special. That's actually quite a good view little there. Okay, so let's open this for all you guys, what it looks like. Okay, so there's some foam. Whoa. Okay, there's a letter and a card. Congratulations on your subscriber milestone. We are honoured to take part in recognising your achievement and want your experience to be exceptional. This award was inspected and packaged with great care by Rick. If your award was damaged during shipping or have any questions, please contact YouTube creator at societyawards.com. Nice little card there. And here is the very special YouTube letter. I'll read it out. Do you remember your first subscriber, your 100th, or your 1,000th subscriber? Chances are that you do. I remember when I had 100 subs. And we know that you'll definitely remember your 100,000th subscriber. Your fans may have found you while searching YouTube, learned about you through a friend, or maybe you showed up as a recommended video. No matter how they came to your channel, your audience stayed and their numbers increased because of you and your community that you've built. Amen. That's for you guys too. We're proud to honour your impressive milestone of reaching 100,000 subscribers with the Silver Creator Award. Congratulations. We know that you have many more stories to share with your community, and we know that your fans can't wait for you to amaze them even more with your commitment and creativity. So keep creating, keep building. We can't wait to see what you'll do next, and we're here to support you along the way. And who knows, when you reach your millionth subscriber, we may just write to you and ask, do you remember your 100,000th subscriber? Yours sincerely, Neil Mohan, YouTube CEO. Very, very cool. I'm just going to make this a bit brighter. Very cool. I'm very thankful to YouTube. And oh, this is the main thing. Let's move this. Whoa. Move the box. You can also get a bit, you can get another one for your team. Not that I have multiple team members. It's just me in my bedroom. Wow. It's like a mirror. You can see the camera in that mirror. There you are. That's you in there. That's amazing. I'm going to put that on my wall. That is really cool. Well, that's down to you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel and being part of the community, because I could not have done this without you. And to be honest, we shouldn't even be talking about ourselves, because it's all for God. At the end of the day, this is all for Jesus and his name being known, and may he be glorified. I pray that he would be glorified. Lord, would you be glorified in this award? Because this is nothing to do with me. Well, it is something to do with me, but you've given me the gifts, and you like to make much of me, because Lord, I want to make much of you. I want to make your name known. And Lord, thank you for everybody who is watching and who has been a part of this community, because it is so special. And Lord, I just pray that you'd bless it and anoint it, and may it grow and may it be fruitful for you and your glory. Thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen. Just an impromptu prayer there, because it's always good to be thankful to the Lord. Well, anyway, top-down view. There you go. Let's get into the Q&A. This is with me and Kay. We were away. Where were we? We went down to somewhere near Devon. Begins with a D. It's not Devon. Dorset. Down in Dorset 2 weeks ago, in the kitchen, decided to do a little Q&A. Day before, my car got broken into. Window got smashed. I didn't actually tell any of you guys that, but yeah, window got smashed through. Luckily, well, not luckily, blessingly, the Lord was sovereign, protected the car, and nothing was taken, even though this camera, the laptop, like so much stuff was in there. And none of it got taken, which is pretty insane. But I hope that you enjoy this Q&A. It's Kay and my first time being on camera together, so that was quite fun. Please be kind. Things may be weird, and I don't know. You have your opinion, but hopefully you enjoy it, and we'll definitely do more sit-downs where we do a proper episode together. But Kayla is my lovely fiancé. We're getting married in 50 days, and I pray that this episode blesses you. There are some good questions and some good answers, I hope. So anyway, God bless you guys. Enjoy the Q&A. Goodbye.
Have a look. And obviously we're going to have to paint them, but that's exactly what I wanted.
Anyway, sorry guys. I'm just saying to the camera. Turns out the top view didn't record, and it's all glitched. So I hope that you enjoyed this camera angle, and you enjoy the video. You're supposed to wave.
It's a bit windy.
So this is quite fun.
I feel like we should just play a game for ourselves to
Play a game.
first of all to make it
You just have to pretend like there aren't any cameras on.
Yeah, there's one looking right at me.
There's one looking right at me. What game should we play? Should I chat GPT? Should we do what was the game you said? Like, you have to fake laugh. What was it?
No.
Isn't that a game?
Yeah, it is a game, but one more that's conversation.
Anyway, let's start again. Hello, YouTube. As you can see, me and Kayla are currently sat opposite each other. And if you're watching this, we hit 100k, which is why we're filming this video. We may not release this video, but we might do.
Maybe for the archives.
Maybe for our own archive. So if you're watching this, well done. You're special. In light of hitting 100k, we thought that we would do a Q&A, mainly because Kay's never been on the channel before. And
I have, briefly.
Oh yeah, and everyone had a go at me.
Yeah.
Everyone thought that I was really mean.
And rude to me.
Do you think I was rude to you, babe?
No, because I know what really happened.
And thank you for fighting my corner.
Mm.
So we're going to do some questions for 100k, and maybe we'll chuck our own ones in at the end. But there's quite a few questions, so we'll just jump straight in. The first question, which apparently comes up loads, is where did we meet? We actually haven't given our story, have we?
No, and I feel like it's
Should we have a whole video?
Nother shebang, really, isn't it? It's not something.
I feel like we should do this video outside rather than inside. I feel like it would be a lot more aesthetic. But we can just practice, for the archives.
For the archives. Take off the pressure.
Where do we meet?
Depends which bit you want to...
I think it's just rapid fire. Rapid fire. Where do we meet?
Okay, rapid fire. We met on Hinge.
Yep.
I was in Vietnam.
I was going to say on a dating app rather than giving the one away.
Why?
Because then they'd have to pay us.
Oh, dating app.
How long did we date before deciding to get married? This is an interesting one, because I feel like we had different expectations about this.
What do you mean? Well,
you thought that I would propose earlier than I did.
But our whole thing is more complicated because we spoke online for 3 months before even physically meeting each other.
So I guess the question is, when did we start dating?
So we were speaking online for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then we met. And then we were boyfriend and girlfriend. And then...
then there's that whole thing now.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's
Yeah, that's why I need the story. But
3 months of talking, then boyfriend and girlfriend, and then... how many months after did we get engaged?
We got engaged in the May, so about 8 months after we became boyfriend girlfriend. So technically quite short, but also
counting the 3 months of.
I think we've been dating probably. It was a year when we decided to get engaged. So some people would say that's quite fast, but there's reasons why I think we did that.
I don't think it is that fast.
A year of dating before we get married or get engaged.
And then we did a year. We're doing a year engagement.
Some people date for years before they. But we're 20. You're 20. You were 23 and I was 25. So yeah.
You're only a year older than me.
Babe, you were 23 when we met.
You were 24.
I was 25. I was April, bro. May 4th.
You're not 2 years older than me.
There's a period of about a week and a half. No, about a month where I'm older than you by 2 years.
Wait, so
we met in the May. I was 25.
We met in the May, and you were 25, and I was.
Oh wait, no, I was 24.
Yeah, and I was 22.
So, 22 when you met. You're a little baby.
Mm.
So you met me when I was 24 and you were 22.
Now I'm 24 and you're
and I'm 25, nearly 26. I'll be 26. You'll be 24.
For like a month, and
so
I turned 25 just after you.
Anyway,
no, but I just wiped my wing off.
That's right.
Did I wipe it off?
No, you still got it. At least you didn't wipe your ring off. So to answer this question, how long did we date before deciding to get married? 8 months, technically. But it wasn't that long. But we had spoken a lot about it. Sam, this is, I guess, more of a question for me. What did you think about your voice as a singer? What do you think about your voice as a singer? Do you ever feel insecure about it? How do you deal with it? Oh, this was a problem I think I had a lot more in the past. I used to be very insecure, particularly when I was like 14, 15, because my voice hadn't really broken and it would like crack all the time. And I did sound a bit like Shawn Mendes, but it was like a worse version of Shawn Mendes. I think there's like a video on my channel. You can go all the way to the bottom, and I'm like 15 at the time. And I sort of sounded a bit like Justin Bieber before his voice broke. And I was a little bit insecure about that. I had quite a husky voice, but I've always quite liked my...
I sounded like Justin Bieber and I was insecure about that. Okay.
That's a good point. Sound like such
I was actually like Justin Bieber.
Such a joke.
So insecure. Give him pick me.
No. Stop. This is definitely not going out.
Okay,
my point was that I struggled with my voice. I lost my voice for like a period of time because I was like Soul Survivor and I wanted all the like Christian girls to like hear me sing, and I was trying to like woo them by my voice, which is again really prideful and not
so
good.
You weren't insecure about your voice. You liked your voice because you
no,
used it to lure in the girls.
I got frustrated at the fact that my voice would break a lot, and then I thought about like how am I going to be a touring musician if I literally can't sing for more than one night in a row because I just lose my voice. There are times where I feel insecure, mainly because I know that my voice is it fits a certain range. Certain keys are like the best. So like D, E flat, E, F sharp to G. My voice is like in a really good range for most of the songs in those keys. Anything higher than that, I really struggle to sing, and then that makes me feel quite inferior and like, oh, I can't sing songs. Which is why I try and sing songs in the key that suits my voice, but also some songs I just physically can't do, particularly ones that like jump octaves. Americans have really small larynxes. It's like, hey guys, my name's Brad. Like they have a very small larynx, which is why they have high-pitched voices. Sorry for all the Americans. Whereas English people often have a lot more like, unless you're Ed Sheeran, who's quite American, but we don't really have massive ranges. It's more closed. But sometimes I do. I guess the way I get over the insecurity is to focus on what I know I can do and to embrace what I've been given and to get the most out of it. Which I feel like is a good antidote for most insecurities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most people feel insecure because they're trying to do things that they weren't designed to do. You know, like being a square peg in a round hole. You know that phrase?
Mm.
Just like God made us as an instrument, and if a guitar is trying to be a drum, it's not really going to work. Anyway, do you guys have similar personalities, or are you opposites? Kay's autistic and I have ADHD.
Hey. I think in some areas we're really similar and in some areas we're really opposite. Boring you, am I?
No. Explain.
Like when things come down to routines and like we both really value routine. I like to be on time though, and you like to be on the dot. So it's like we're opposites in that sense. I'm introvert, you're extrovert.
I'm not.
You're an introverted extrovert. Or the other way around. Extroverted introvert. Something.
Extroverted introvert.
What else is?
We're similar in a lot of ways. We're different in a lot of ways. But the similarities are often in things that are like, I believe, are non-negotiables.
Values and what we enjoy doing in life. And
how we want our lives to look. But there are differences which often can cause conflicts.
Like?
You're more emotional, I'm more logical. But you're a female. So... you know what I mean? That I think you struggle to, like sometimes when you get overstimulated, which is a similar thing of like the autism, you struggle to deal with that in the moment. You know, I can push you over the edge. I don't think we can just be out
here saying I have autism when I don't.
You sometimes say that though.
I feel like I am on the spectrum. I'm not diagnosed with autism.
You know that certain things stimulate you to the point where you can't even cope.
It's likewise for you. You get massively overstimulated.
But you don't overstimulate me. I never get overstimulated by you. I overstimulate you commonly. I will be in the shop and I'll be like thinking about 3 or 4 different things. And you'll just be like, stop.
Yeah, but that's not you that's overstimulating me. That's being in the shop.
Yeah, but the shop doesn't overstimulate me.
Yeah, but you're saying that you're the one that's overstimulating.
Yeah, sometimes I do. You told me that literally like an hour ago. Like I was prodding you and telling you stuff and like...
Yeah, we have a lot going on at the moment.
Yeah, so
and
you get
I was thinking a lot, and you had the music on really loud, and then you were like stabbing my...
But I like that. I like that. As in, like, I thrive under pressure in those moments, like where there's lots going on and I have to execute, even when it's like chaotic.
Not always, though.
Not always, but there are some moments where chaos can sometimes stimulate me to be, it's like exciting. So if I'm listening to really loud music and there's loads of stuff going on the road, sometimes I find that really fun.
Just don't speak to Sam if he's packing for a trip.
Oh, yeah. Also, you told me to go downstairs the other day because
that was out of love. I said, hey, you should probably go away now, or it's going to get ugly.
Anyway, there are probably more, but we'll talk about that another time. How has finding each other affected your individual relationships with God? Okay, didn't have one. Has there been any God winks in your love story? I feel like we should do that on our...
Yeah, I didn't know the Lord before I knew Sam.
I feel like you knew not...
I feel like...
You knew...
There was... I didn't have a relationship with God. I wasn't a Christian, so... What's your answer?
I think I've learnt a lot more about myself.
That wasn't the question.
No, I know, but it definitely impacts my relationship with God. I feel like I lean on him more than I used to. Because I think my role has changed considerably. And I think the responsibilities, like I feel such a weight and responsibility to honour you and to shepherd you well and to lead you well. And I think there are things which I've had to throw away because they've hindered our relationship. And in doing so, that's sanctified me more. which has brought me closer to God in many ways, which I think is the mystery of marriage. It's the beautiful thing of marriage, in the way that men and women come together, and it's the picture of God and his bride, Jesus and his bride. Like when Christians are called into relationship with God, lots of what they once were are called to be dropped because we're called to follow Christ. Whether that's you were once a tax collector, you're now no longer a tax collector. You were once a fisherman, you're now no longer a fisherman of fish, you're a fisherman of men. You know, like there are things that change once you meet Christ and meet God. And as you step into a relationship with him, things naturally change. And I think that's probably the same for me. Like being in a relationship with you has therefore sanctified me in ways that if I was just on my own, maybe there are certain things which could have just been present that wouldn't have been. Congrats, mate. This is Wemis21. As a man, do you think the social media negatives outweigh the positives? And what does it look like to be a modern Christian sharing the gospel with this in mind? I have been off it apart from YouTube for 2 years and have been contemplating returning to share how good the Lord has been in our lives as a testimony, but I struggle with the negatives. That's the first question. He's got another one. I feel like you could probably also answer this, but he's saying as a man. I'll answer as a man part 2 first. I think the issues that men have with social media often come through lust and through, I think, sometimes comparison, because we often judge ourselves based on stature and could be career or where we're at in life, and we desire to build something for ourselves. So if we see other people ahead of us or whatever, we may compare ourselves and think, oh, we're not very good. I'm pretty, whether a man or a woman, I'm against social media in principle for many reasons. I've created loads of videos on this in the past, but one of them particularly is I don't think that our brains were meant to comprehend the amount of information that we get at any one time. Being aware of anything around the world instantly, I don't think is useful. And I think that unless you're massively intentional about your social media habits, what you're watching, when you watch it, how long you watch it for, it's like junk food that is just really addictive but really damaging to the body and it's often too late when you notice that it's hurt you. Or you can just passively go through life not realizing that you're addicted, and then your whole life's gone.
And it's so accessible. Obviously, I have social media. But I think it's worse. I think there's more negatives through it than positives.
I think often my challenge is, what are you gaining from social media that you can't get from other things in life?
It's just like a magnifying glass, magnifying glass inside everyone's life. And
what is it that people benefit from?
But what's the need? Because I see so much of people's lives who I have no relationship to. I knew from school and I don't speak to. But I see them now. But and it's like it's nice to, and like people that from traveling. So it's like you get a little glimpse into everyone's lives, but they're not, you're then just passively living and knowing about each other's lives and what everyone's doing there's no actual relationship, whereas you don't have social media and your friends you're really intentional with and you have intentional, meaningful conversations with them, which we lack. But we feel like we're connected to people because of the social media and we can see what's going on, but we're not.
Yeah, I think the challenge is that social media has a lot of positives in the way that you can research a lot of things. That's often the thing that people say, or the argument people give is, oh, but my job relies on it. You know, like they're a media person or a marketing person and they need to post on YouTube or Instagram or whatever for their career. I have a pretty firm stance on this because it's just the way my brain is, but I'm just like, if your job relies on you having social media, change job. Like genuinely. It's the same thing Jesus would say, like, would you rather go into hell? Would you rather go into heaven with like one arm and one leg, or would you rather both your legs and your arms go into hell? And I'm not saying that you're going to hell because you have social media, but I think it can be a very slippery slope. And in the Bible it says, don't let the devil have a foothold. And for some people, social media is a way for the devil to get a foothold. For some people, it's perfectly fine, and that's where you have to test your own heart, and that's between your own convictions and the Lord. But I've just seen... The biggest thing for me is it's crazy how it's like the slow creep of behavioral change that people are so normalized with. So like being in a restaurant and people having to take a picture to share on stories. I don't understand stories. What is that? Like I genuinely think it's weird. Like that we've almost been programmed
It's like
into this thing.
We're showing everyone what we're doing.
Why?
I don't know.
What's the purpose of it? Like genuinely, I don't understand what the purpose is. You might get 2 or 3 messages back going, "Oh, that's cool," but that's as far as
there isn't really. I guess there is, but then
the purpose is Instagram knows that it's addictive.
But I think what's more negative is the amount of time that's spent on,
because it's addictive.
But like the brain rot in this,
it's gossip. It's digital gossip.
Scrolling. I think that's the main. That for me, that's. I think stories are worse. That's what I find the worst. I don't think I look at people's stories and compare myself and say, "Oh, I wish." I was doing
but I think
that,
stories are addictive. You find yourself in the same way that you scroll vertically.
They're more passive. They're passive though. Like it's just like a quick glimpse. Whereas
but that's even worse. It's unintentional.
For me, Reels and TikTok are the worst. Like that is the most, and it's affecting children. Like I obviously don't think it's good, and I definitely fall into it, but. This is becoming normal for children now, which is wild. That they're just little, and you see it. You see a child without the phone, and then you give them the phone, and they start scrolling, and they just turn into this unresponsive being.
I just think, how cool would it be? As a Christian, we're called to be marked like holy and different to the world, and I just think it would be so cool if we as Christians were like en masse. We just like deleted Instagram, TikTok. I know there's challenges. Because the challenge is we're called to be in the world but not of the world. So many people have the conviction that I want to be on there to show, think of Charlie Kirk or Cliff Kneckley, or all these people who are on TikTok, and all these people who are on there are now watching these videos and they're stumbling across them and now they're asking questions about Christ. And that's great. But my question or my challenge would be, if you want to be somebody who changes culture, therefore you want to be on these platforms, have an account only for creating and remove any form of personal consumption. So have a creator account where you upload videos or reply to comments every hour or every like...
But then people who aren't content creators though. So it's
people
I
who
find
aren't
it
content
quite
creators,
fun just to document my life on there. Like my Instagram is just a little digital documentation of my life.
But what's the purpose of that?
To have a digital documentation, it is fun. That's what I mean. I have it
on my phone, on like my own little camera roll, and then when I'm in person and someone's like, "Oh, what did you do 2 years ago?" I can be like, "Look, I don't think we need to have it stored on these platforms for the sake of." I mean, I'm very pessimistic about it because I just genuinely.
I think it can be fun, but I think
just something's fun doesn't mean it's good. Sorry, I'm being
okay. I also don't think it's bad in the sense, but I think it's how you use it. If you're abusing it, and it's the main. We spend, even you without social media, spend more hours on your phone than most of your day can be on your phone sometimes, right?
Since I've had a brick, it's massively dropped.
Yeah, that's been good. But some people can spend more hours on TikTok than anything, so.
We could do a whole episode on this. I think we should really. I think we should do a whole. Maybe we should just start a podcast. This is quite fun.
It's quite fun. It's quite fun.
Anyway, so the second part is, in our current society in Scotland and England, how does one live quietly, and what does that mean for you? Thanks, mate. Lots of love to you both. Love this guy. WMS21. In our current society in Scotland and England, what about Wales? Maybe he's in Scotland and we're in England, so maybe that's why he's saying it. How does one live quietly, and what does that mean for you? I think when the Bible calls us to live quiet and peaceful lives, I personally think that's a lot harder in today's day and age, particularly because of lifestyle creep has become so prevalent, i.e. people always want to be busy, people always want to have something to do, and there's lots of options in our lives. So I think when we talk about the simple life, I think that's the life that is like almost, it's lacking in options per se. So like Jesus, if you look at what he actually did in terms of his actions, he probably like, you could put it in a couple of boats, like, or a couple of buckets. So like, he spent time in solitude praying. That was like a lot of his time was spent doing that, particularly early in the morning, like before the sun got up. He would go onto a hillside and pray. So prayer was like a key thing that he did. Walking, he walked a flip ton to get from place to place, and they walked miles back then. So walking and praying in quiet outside was a thing. Eating and sharing meals with people was a pretty big one. And then outside of that, preaching in the temple, like sharing and preaching outside to crowds. And then outside of that, healing people, so doing ministry work. Like, I'm sure there were a lot of things that Jewish people back in that day were doing that he wasn't doing. And I know lots of it isn't necessarily recorded in the Bible, but those are the things that the Bible records. And I think today it's a lot easier to almost be drawn into all like the entertainment culture. I don't think that there was entertainment back then, like in the way that we have it now, where we have TikTok, Instagram, Netflix, and it's so normalized. Like I'm at work and everyone's like, "Oh, did you watch the Love Island preview?" Like what? And all they can think about is when they get back from work, that's what they're doing. And I'm just like, do you not have anything better to do? Like, what are you giving your life for? And I think it's probably something because I have a ministry and I'm a Christian, and I just don't have time for any of that stuff, because it's not, if you don't have anything that's more important than any of that stuff, that stuff becomes important to you. You know what I mean? Mm. Like, if you don't have a primary aim that is bigger than yourself and is beyond like the entertainment industry, consuming and pleasure and entertainment, those become the peak experiences for you as a human. Whereas if your peak experience is ministering to people on the street because you want them to know Jesus, or it's going on a mission trip to Africa or America to go and put on events for young people, or it's creating videos like I do on YouTube, or building a marriage and encouraging people in learning about truth. Like, those things are so big, so lofty, so magnificent, that the stuff that is just like, to me, surface level, the Love Islands, the series, like everyone talks about Fallout and all these, I don't know, I watch movies because I like watching them with you, and like I see those communal things, and lots of really great ideas can be pushed through movies. Lots of bad ones too, so you have to avoid them. But like, that's really as far as football, sport, which is again is more of a communal thing. I like sharing that experience with people.
That's what I was going to say, is like the forms of entertainment that we have now, is back to the social media thing, is they're solo forms of entertainment. They're taking you on your own, whereas entertainment, as God intended, I think should be to bring you together. Like the video games we're talking about, like the Wii is great because no one sits on their Wii and plays it on their own, do they? I mean, yeah, but it's more of like a communal thing, whereas now we've got our phones and you just go and watch TikTok in your bedroom on your own and you're not talking to anyone, or watching a film on your phone in your room. So it's like a lot of people are spending time, and you could call that a quiet life, you know? They're not busy body, like they're not busy, and but they've got nothing to show plans, for it. But I don't think that is a quiet life. To me, a quiet life is like none of this like overstimulating stuff. So like what we're doing now, spending time present, God's creation, like out walking and taking all of that in. Mm-hmm. I think that's what's the last thing I'll say on it, sorry I cut you off, is like, I think it's a key difference between building and consuming. Like, I think when you go on a walk and you're having good conversation with people, you feel like you're building relationships, connections, you're forming ideas because you're debating, you're chatting about something that's going on. You'll just think of something like, oh, do you see that plant? And I don't know, there's the stuff that's being like created, like synthesis. Something is synthesizing an idea or a relationship. It's just building up. What we're doing now, you know, having a conversation and creating or pushing our relationship forward by our time that we spend in the Bible in the morning. Like, we're not consuming. It's not consuming us.
You know what I mean? Whereas like a lot of the stuff that we consume, actually, it's not about us consuming information that builds us up. It's about us being consumed. Our time's consumed. Our energy's consumed. Our purity is consumed. Like pornography, and I've just gone left field, but like pornography, people think, oh, I'm consuming pornography. But I think pornography is actually consuming us.
But this is for how I would relate is TikTok. Like it consumes you. I used to think that TikTok was really. I liked TikTok because it would give me like ideas to be creative.
But you can get that from other things.
But I would spend so long on TikTok, like, and get inspired by. It was so overwhelming that there's so many routes of. Okay, yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that, and then you don't do any of them. You just watch more and more videos, and then you've got nothing to show for it, and you're not actually creating anything.
Also, it comes down to the options thing again. You might have one thing that you really enjoy that day and you've got a great idea, and then a new idea will come along. And now that thing that you once really valued yesterday now is nothing in comparison to the new thing. Like novelty. We're trained now through the quick consumption and stimulating like new ideas that come up all the time, that the thing that I had yesterday that I actually valued and held in my hand as like the best thing I've ever seen is now like a piece of coal in comparison to the gold of today's new idea. So I think that's what the quiet and simple life is now. It's like rejecting the consumption, fast-moving culture, limiting options to like a select few of very important things that we know are good and like build us up and make us feel good. Exercise, walks, Bible in the morning, good music, just simple things, and limiting a lot of noise in your life. I think that's what the quiet life is, like slowing down. And I just think I don't like cities generally, so get out of the city, go live in the countryside. We'll do a couple more because we're running long now. How did you guys know each other with the one you wanted to marry? Maybe we should leave that on for our more of a relationship one that we do. Because so my first thing I said was, Sam, what's your view on men piercing their ears and also having tattoos? My personal conviction on tattoos is that I think some of them can be really cool. I personally think, I currently don't have any tattoos and I don't think I'll get any. I feel like every time I've wanted to get one, the Lord's like shut the door. And I think a lot of people tell me like how nice it is that I don't have any.
I like that you don't have any.
Yeah, there you go. So I don't think I'll get any. I don't think it's necessarily wrong to get one. I just don't really see the benefit. They're expensive. Like they're also permanent. It's not good on your skin when you're sag when you're older.
What was the question there?
What's your view on men piercing their ears and having tattoos? What's your view on men piercing their ears and having tattoos?
My theology is not as up there as yours, so I don't really.
Well, even if it's not theological, even if it's just like
my personal view is, I don't think that there's. There's a Rob in there. Well, you've got pierced ear. You can speak from. I've got piercing. So what's the difference between men and women there?
I think probably the argument is that some people believe that men having piercings is sort of like effeminate. So it's like, quote unquote, gay for men to have piercings in their ears. You know what I mean? So, and is that wrong?
Yeah, but the tattoos.
Yeah, so also in the Bible it talks about not having a tattoo because you become like all the other. But then Jesus is coming back.
Jesus has a tattoo when he comes
King
back.
of Kings, tattooed on his right thigh.
But it's Old Testament law, isn't it? Not to have tattoos.
Yeah, I think the idea is you can be legalistic with any Bible verse. You know what I mean? I think a lot of it comes down to personal conviction. I think the best argument that people give around having tattoos is like using it as an opportunity to spread the gospel, because someone might look at your tattoo and it's like a cross or it's a Bible verse
We've had conversations with people based on the fact that we saw that they.
Yeah, like
when you did that run.
Yeah,
You
Malachi.
saw that he had the cross.
But also a guy at my gym like has a big cross tattoo on his shoulder.
But then you could do that with jewelry.
I think so too. So I think it's how far do you need to go to communicate that? I mean, there is a sense of I'm pinning my colours to the mast. Like I'm a Christian and I'm going to tattoo myself for the glory of God. I think it's a stretch, personally. That's my own conviction. I think there are other ways, like it could be wearing t-shirts that say Jesus on it, or having a sticker on your bottle that says like worship with Sam, or you didn't get that joke? You have
I was zoned out actually.
I know you were. Sticker on your bottle that says worship with Sam on it. But yeah, I don't think it's I don't think you're going to go to hell for having a piercing in your ear or having a tattoo. I think the motive matters, and I personally just think it looks quite cool.
I think it looks cool.
So let's do the last two. Last one, I just said last two, didn't I? What hobbies do you have which don't involve church or music?
Painting. I like doing art.
You're really good at art.
Thanks.
I said that to you in your Valentine's
And we like walking, hiking.
Hobbies, though.
That's
I guess
a
it
hobby.
is a hobby.
What hobbies do you have? Gym. We like the gym. Is that a hobby?
I have a lot of hobbies, guys.
What's your hobbies then? That aren't music and church. What was?
I like making videos, like filming, like photography.
Photography, like.
I love learning. That's a hobby.
Yeah.
I love debating. That's a hobby. Like arguing about ideas and like challenging ideas.
Would you say that's a hobby?
Yeah, that's a hobby. It's a pastime. I would spend all my days doing that. That's what people in Athens used to do. All their days were spent debating the newest ideas. So fun. I like food. Like I like cooking. I wouldn't say it's a hobby, but like I do enjoy cooking. I wouldn't necessarily like say, you know what I mean? Like I don't think it's something that I'm like outrageously like out there with, but I enjoy it. I love spearfishing. Not that I do it enough, but like it's something that I think a hobby is something that you really enjoy.
I think a hobby is what you do regularly, right?
Yeah,
like
so maybe it's not a hobby because I don't do it enough, but like it's something that I want it to be my hobby. And I think there's stages of hobbies, you know, like where we're at in our lives, the things that we do consistently are, like we like roller coasters.
Yeah, but that's not a hobby.
No. I think watching movies and like reviewing movies is a hobby for me. Like I would do that consistently. Like every weekend I would watch a movie with you. I know you don't like it, so it's not going to be our hobby, but it would be a hobby of mine where I'd sit.
It is our hobby. I'm included in it.
Yeah.
I do it every
But you fall asleep at the end, or halfway through, or we turn it off because you fall asleep or you get bored. But like I genuinely love movies. And I think that comes down to like the debating thing, because there's like ideas in the movie that you have to like tease out and question and like, what is that? I love boats and like water sports and interior design and like aesthetic stuff. I love good conversations and building fires. I like the outdoors. Yeah. Last one. Are you planning on going on any more podcasts soon or starting one? Maybe we'll start one. Me and you.
I don't think that was a question for me.
Feel like we should. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This may or may not come out. Anything you want to say to the camera? Anything you want to say to them? You want to say thank you for 100k? And for the comments?
Thanks for 100k and for the comments.
Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.